golden retriever. Sit the fuck down, boy. I guess
Hello, everybody, and welcome to SafeWord, your platform for teaching, learning, and opening the eyes of our audience to the world of kink, BDSM, and relationships.
We're rushing through this one.
I am your host, Mr. Kane Marcos.
And I am your other host, Orora Storm.
And it's your co-host, Miss Sasha Lencher.
So, hello, everyone. We are back. I know that you haven't seen our pretty faces like live for a minute, but if you rock with us, you realize that we take a little break. So, anyhow, did y'all watch the video? Okay, because if you watch the video, you know what the kink of the month is. If you don't, I guess you gotta stay tuned. So if y'all want to reach out to us and all that, all those links will be in the description box below.
And then while you're down there, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for all that educational content around kink, BDSM, and
relationships.
Come out. Yes.
All right. So if you just landed on this page and you have no idea what you're watching, this is SafeWord. And here on SafeWord, we have a safe word of the day. We use this safe word to stop, halt, and completely put a pause on all topics of conversation. So, SafeWord crew, we'd like to let everybody know what the safe word of the day is. If you don't know, it's right here on the board. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Animal.
So make sure that you say that safe word if you want things to stop. It's getting too hot and heavy, right? But here at SafeWord, we use Zoom, and sometimes Zoom has audio issues. So what do we do, crew, if we're saying the safe word of the day and no one's shutting the heck up? Ready? All right.
I thought you were going to count that down.
No.
I know.
You usually do.
You got
all this like kind of mapped out already.
We just needed to know.
Yes.
Orora over here just Zoltan.
Right, exactly.
Zoltan.
So here's the deal. If you're saying the safe word, no one's hearing it, throw up that symbol. Make sure that you say the safe word of the day, which is animals, so that everybody knows what it is. Mr. Kane, do we have Miss Sasha?
Hot topics.
Yes, we do. We had some time off, so I had some stuff to research, but a lot of the stuff I was going to bring is kind of outdated already. It's like already been shock and awe. So one thing that I wanted to bring up, you know me, I gotta bring you guys the latest and greatest on everything. So I wanted to know if you guys have heard, because it's been out for about a month now, or at least several weeks. Do you guys know that there is a college university offering a course on porn?
What?
So,
for real? Like
we're gonna have to elaborate. What does it mean?
Course. Okay.
Porn course.
So I actually think it's really awesome. It's drawn a lot of people on both sides of it, but the things that they're discussing and everything that they're really delving into, it's not just like a free, masturbation hour for college students. They're actually going to be delving into like the historic properties of pornography, and also like regional regional regulations around porn. So discussing what makes porn from different regions the way that it is. A lot of people don't know, or like if you're into porn and you're like watching and viewing, if you're into like, let's say porn from other countries, so like
hentai or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, not even so much like hentai, but that's going to be discussed throughout this course as well, because just think of what the social ramifications are, what the ambiguity is, what the positive, negatives, drawbacks, just things that it represents, and how people view it, and for more than just sexual gratification. But like just thinking about porn regionally, like are you guys aware or familiar with like porn laws in Australia?
No,
is there porn laws in Australia? Hold on.
Yeah. So Australian porn stars, or adult entertainers, whatever they choose to go by, they actually have a minimum of, they need to have I believe it's a C cup in order to be filmed. And it's because the country actually has really stringent laws on pedophilia. And so their attempt is to kind of move away from, you know, anything that could kind of be tacked onto. So they don't do like the tiny teens, they don't do like the barely legal 18, anything like that.
Okay, so that makes
It's
sense.
more or less just like adult-based content with voluptuous women, so that way it can't be construed
They look
as, you know,
mature.
yeah, like immature or exploitation.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something really interesting, and like that, just because I do a ton of research, I knew about, but I'd really love to sit in one of these college courses and just
Yeah.
hear what, you know, ideas and everything that's going around, just how people really view that, you know, because just talking about it right here, you know, you'll get some comments right now just saying like, oh, well, I think it's bad for this reason, or I think it's, you know,
Well,
brilliant for this reason.
you have like sex ed classes when you're in like what, junior high school, then you talk more about sex and biology in high school. When you go to college, there's sex ed classes too. I forget what it was called, but I took one of those.
Yeah.
So how is it wrong to teach people the laws and things that go into it? Because it is a business. So it's almost like taking a business course or entrepreneurship or something.
And
So
regardless of how taboo it is, it's still a big part of our culture. People, I mean, people that aren't even quote unquote supposed to be watching it, you know, for whatever reason, do, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why not learn
hence
about
soaking.
it? Right. And why not learn about it so that, like, if you're watching that kind of thing and you're watching something extreme like fisting, you realize that that's not just going to happen in every freaking scenario. You know, if you're a virgin, you're watching something like that and you're like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do the next girl I'm with, you know, like.
Well, even teaching that in a college setting when you're most prone to exploring, because porn is what you're watching, and then now you're in an adult setting to do your own thing, that is a perfect place to kind of educate people how kind of those things are supposed to be done. So it's almost like low key, it's a kink class.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like it. I like this idea. This is
Well,
why
it's
we're
not
here.
really coming at it from a kink perspective. It's really coming at it from like the historical, like just how porn's changed from like the 20s. Because I mean, porn dates back all the way back to, you know,
Well,
the
they
Kama
have those
Sutra.
little-
There's cave drawings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, there's old black and white photos. Remember back in the day when you had to stand there for 8 hours in order to take a good photo? Like there's nudes even back then. So some
Right.
chick or
Oh
some
my
dude was
God.
standing there for 8+ hours, just,
Right.
you know, butt
Well,
naked for
back
the world
in
to
the
see.
day, they used to have those film boxes and you just see a lady and her dress is just falling off and stuff. And that
Right.
was porn back then.
Well, and they had that in the erotic museum in Vegas. Remember, they had the
Yes,
little
I
clicker
know.
thing. I was like, oh my gosh,
Right.
like an actual one.
I know you were saying Candace, like it's not kink, but me and of course my devil's advocate behind being a nerd. It kind of is because it's teaching them what it is, how to do it per se, don't know the extent of the class.
Right.
So it's at least getting their eyes open to a different type of sex, I guess.
Or how to look at it, even just,
Yeah.
you know, kind of how to view it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
if there's
what I've-
discussion around it, then it's not viewed. I would think it wouldn't be as taboo, because it's like, oh, I took a college course on this, you know, even for some people that maybe don't have, you know, a connection to that at all, or think it is taboo, that might loosen it.
Well, and so the reason why I would disagree is that and it's just a personal reason, and I think both of you can really agree, is that kink is more on the pleasurable side aspect of everything. I mean, you're really looking for, if not self-gratification, mutual gratification, or, you know, just interpersonal gratification. So
Right.
there's a thrilling aspect to it, but this is kind of taking it from an educational perspective to where it's really evaluating, you know, just and teaching lessons through it. So it's like not going to be a fun course.
Mhm.
You know, like it's not going to be exactly what you think it is, where it's just like, oh yeah, man, we just watched Diane Does Dallas for, you know, 2.5 hours a day. That's my Wednesday block. It's going to be like, oh, well, it's, remember back in elementary and like middle school, high school, when you had to read the story and the teacher would sit there and ask like, what do you think the author is trying to represent saying the curtains are blue? Like, you know what? The curtains are just fucking blue. So it's going to be one of those, like when the videographers transitioned from missionary into the doggy style perspective, like what do you think was trying to represent and societally, you know, for the time era, like it's going to be stuff like that. And so that's intriguing to me. So I'm like all about it.
That's
Right.
cool.
What
I'd
a
be
lot of
interested
people
to
are
look
really
up, like-
misconstruing it as is that it's just going to be like a liberal arts course or like arts artistic engineering, like some of those degrees that a lot of people don't really recognize as a
It's
form
like
of
Zach and
sense of
Mimi does the
education.
porn. I don't know if you guys have ever
Yes,
seen
the
that.
Zach and Mimi. Yep, that does a
all
porn
I
movie.
think
That
about.
was actually a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
That
It's
shit
a
was funny.
really good movie.
But so it was really interesting because I was talking to one of my coworkers about it, and like, keep in mind, I read an article on it and I was genuinely interested. I mean, you know what we do for a living, and so hey, all for it, all about it, sex education at its finest.
Right.
And the funny thing about it is, do you guys want to just take a stab at what state or what college this is being? Like, you'll never guess it, and it's super close.
Utah,
Idaho. Oh, yeah, I was gonna be like Utah or Idaho. Yeah, I was like
Utah.
Provo. I already know.
Westminster College in Utah. So for those of you who are unfamiliar or don't live in Utah, or just live under a rock, Utah is more or less known for its high population of the Mormon religion.
It's in the
And
Bible.
so, and you've heard us discuss the Mormon religion a lot on here, just because we talk about soaking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But it's just kind of cool to see like a college in such a, what you would imagine to be like a sexually closed off area, to offer a course like this. So for one, like, that's just kind of cool in and of itself. And so then talking to this coworker, it's just coming out, can you believe this shit? Like, why would you offer a course like that? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, everything that you can glean, like all of the info. I'm curious, if I could, I would take this course.
Right, I totally would. I would take this course. I just not for
just
a grade,
to know,
just to know what they're fucking teaching in this. That might be interesting to see if we could just like on one of these travel series, see if we could pop our head in real quick. You know what
I
I'm
ain't gonna
saying?
lie, if you're a student at Westminster College and you know the professor, you got good or anything, just let them know, like, hey man, I got this show on YouTube. They talk about sex all the time. They're qualified sex educators. Would it be possible? I would love to sit in a lecture. Like,
yes,
I don't even have to be like up there saying nothing. I just want to sit in the back of the class and just
learn. Yeah.
Just to see what the course is about. Like, what is in the syllabus? Like, what are you going to touch on? Like, that would be dope. Like I'm
if you could send us the syllabus, send that over.
I'm about to go online and see what the outline of the class is. Like,
I'm saying, bring it back to the next live. Y'all need to do some research, some digging. Tell us what they teach us in this class.
I'm telling you right now, like, I studied psychology and I hated writing term papers. Like, I think I would honestly, genuinely enjoy writing term papers for
that class.
Porn 101.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, when I start school for psych, I'm about to look for one of those classes. That's
yeah, right. She's like, I'm gonna take that.
Right.
Coming up this next year, I'm about to look up one of these classes.
Yeah. All right.
So in other news, just to close it all off, just to go ahead and throw some salt your guys' way, just so you guys can be like bitter or just
Jinx.
So you guys can either be like just go-getters and be like, just 100%, damn it, man, like, just words are escaping the hell out of me tonight. Motivated.
It's escaping all of us. It's okay. We're human. So, it's fine.
This can either motivate you or just be like, God damn it. So there's a woman on OnlyFans. We always gotta talk about OnlyFriends. We gotta bring that stuff in there and talk about it. So
friends.
I don't know how well your guys' pages are doing, but wanted to let you guys know, just in case you were looking for something different to kind of take this in a new direction or so. You guys know that there was a woman on there who makes $10,000 a month doing pet play, pretending to be a puppy. No nude, no sexual content, just pet play. So I thought that was kind of something cool that I could throw in tonight, especially, with the kink of the month that we have not yet disclosed, but hint,
I know. Hint. So is that's your hot topics for tonight, Kate?
That's my hot topics for tonight. We don't have any celebrity deaths, so I just wanted to,
Thank you.
I got to take a stab at you guys one way or another, bring you guys some realization.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus that cold water reality, your guys.
We're fine.
Let me know if you want to see me crawl around like a puppy and pay me $10,000 a month. Just let me know.
I ain't above it.
All right. So thank you so, Mr. Kane, Mr. Kane, Brother Kane, for bringing us the hot topics tonight. I love it.
Awesome.
So like I said earlier, we've been missing a little bit. you know, you still have been seeing our pretty faces. We just haven't been coming to you live every Friday. And that's because, like, if you rock with us, you know that in the summer months, we kind of take a little bit of a hiatus or a break. We still bring you content. Yeah. We take a break so that we can bring you more quality content. You know what I'm saying? Get our stuff together. So that, like, next season, you're not just like, oh, what happened to SafeWord? You know?
We got our next travel series. You know, we brought you guys that last year. So
right.
We gotta get it fresh for y'all. Get it
together and keep it fresh. So that's what we're doing, but we still are trying to bring you a couple lives here and there with our pretty faces on it. Okay, but we'll always bring you content. But here's the deal. So because we're taking a little bit of a break, we didn't hit the kick of the month on the first Friday. But that's okay, because we're bringing you the kick of the month now. So if you watch the video, you know what it's about. And if you don't, I'm about to tell you. All right. So the reason why, first and foremost, before I tell this, the reason why I chose this as the kink of the month, because May is National Pet Month. So I was like, it's only right.
It would only be suitable.
Kink of the month, pet play or animal play. Right. And so we're going to dive into that just a little bit. We're not going to get too deep tonight because that's coming up in season 3. You want to learn all about what you do. Join us for season 3. But I am going to open this up by asking my crew, right? If you have ever experienced pet play and what pet play is to you. What do you think pet play is? So I'm going to kick this off to Miss Sasha first.
Okay. So I'll say my experience with pet play first. The only experience that I've had with pet play was when I was super young, and then they had real sex, and they had different episodes on different things. And one of them was pet play, and they had a pet party and stuff like that. And they had, they was like a pet zoo. It was a pet zoo.
Yep. Yes. I have zoos. Yep.
Yes. So that was my experience with it. So that's pretty much what I know. But pet play is when someone likes to act like a pet. They take on that persona, and they just express themselves in a multitude of ways as a pet or animal.
Okay, so before I move off of you, so you're telling me the only experience you have with it is seeing it on a show?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so everybody keep that in mind.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Kane, what is your experience with pet play? And, what is
I'm sorry, y'all, my eyelash itch, so I'm not trying to be rude. No, I'm so sorry.
It's better than your eyelash itching, you know?
All right, so what is pet play to you, and how do you have any experience with it?
So yeah, I've got some experience with pet play. Like if you guys follow us, if you guys, know anything about the show, if it's your first time, you might not, but if you've been rocking with us, for some time now, then, when we discussed like foot fetishes and everything, everybody knows now that I have a foot fetish. But when I was talking about, like how I came into that was, I thought it was a big secret. I thought that, I got one over on
everyone else.
Everything, because it's like I didn't have to necessarily find like full on nude pornography, like any of like the swimsuit magazines or something. Just barefoot was enough.
Yep.
So
sandals in the summer.
So when I was younger, I actually
material everywhere.
Without even really recognizing it, I mean, I engaged in a lot of pet play, especially during, like sexual acts. Still to this day, I love bites. I love scratches.
Okay.
So
all right.
I remember in high school, like I was just all about like I wanted somebody to get like all 8 nails, like from shoulder blade all the way down to like hip. I just wanted 8, like just the
claw marks down your back. I love it.
And so bites, I love bites. Not so much like marks that bites left, just like the feeling of teeth.
The grass.
And so like that was just something I was always into. It was always something that I requested. And it's not something so out of the box that, like nobody wasn't willing to oblige. So it was just fun. It was at the, no pun intended, it was animalistic. It was
yeah.
It was savage. So
yeah.
I really enjoyed it. That's something that I was always, curious about, and, getting into kink and everything else. I started learning a little bit more about, just like everybody else here, the more you learn about this stuff, the more you realize that you're not crazy. You're not weird. There's a lot of people who share in these experiences and enjoy them. So it was easier to be a little bit more forthcoming with, pet play than it was like a foot fetish, because you know that could still
Really?
be taken as kind of strange. Yeah, like
So
on
it's
average.
easier to admit you have pet play or that you've
Before
experienced
a
pet
foot
play than
fetish?
before a foot
Well,
fetish?
so and here's the thing is like when
That's
I would talk about
interesting.
pet play, I didn't know what pet play was. And
Okay.
so I'm asking for bites, scratches, growls, like the like raw animalistic, you know, just passion. And so
Right.
that's a subsection of pet play. Like even though I wasn't necessarily engaging in, you know, like dressing up or even behaving like an animal, it was still
Something
carnal.
Like
primal. So
animalistic of some
it's
sort,
on the
very
edge
primal.
of pet play because you're playing in that primal, you know, fetish basically.
And so
Yeah.
time in the dungeon and everything, it's like, oh, this person wants this. And I was like, oh, what's that? Well, they just like this. Oh, okay. I think of that as something completely different. I'm glad to know there's a name to it. I can do that. Yep, we're good. So not to say that like I'm the most experienced or anything, but I'm not somebody who's going to be like, I don't know, you know? So.
And since Kane is our informational guy, I really want you to touch on this. Pet play is not what?
Oh man. So pet play is like when you're adopting a persona on it's almost like a role play, but instead of role playing like a doctor or a nurse or like a human profession, you're actually cosplaying or role playing as an animal. So a lot of people get that confused with zoophilia, which is actual fantasization.
Animal. Now try that again.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
From the top. All right. So it's different from zoophilia, which is actually a fantasization of wanting to be with the animal kingdom, like not so much having a human partner, but adopting an animal partner, like an actual, you know, chromosomes don't match up, furry beast, animal, you know, creature.
Right.
Outside of
So,
action.
like there's people who fantasize about cows, about horses. Now that can be kind of similar to where, you know, like, oh, I can act like a horse, but it's like, nah, like I need a horse, you know?
Right. So it's not zoophilia and it's not bestiality. It's not having intercourse with an animal.
Yeah,
So
no.
That's not what pet play is.
Well, and so a lot of the clients that I had that actually engaged in pet play, it was, even though it wasn't by definition that is how as close as they wanted it to be.
Right.
So it's like they would refer to it as bestiality, and it's just like, no, let's not say it like that. But like, oh, well, you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I know what you mean, but you can't say it like that. So
well, yeah, and sometimes people get it crossed over. But I mean, really, honestly, when you are playing in pet play, you are acting like an animal, and there is no animals involved. Like that's just not what's going down. But so like, okay, so you've had some experience with this, so I guess I gotta share mine too, right? So yes, pet play is what Kane and Sasha said. Okay, like I don't think I need to break it down anymore. Mr. Kane took us to the freaking definition of what it's not, so I don't need to break it down anymore. So but my experience with it, if you watch this show, you know I've worked in a dungeon before. So one of my experiences, well, I've actually owned a pet, but we'll get into that later. But one of my first experiences was a pet play party. It was a yard party. And we had this grassy area out in the back. And there was this guy that came up to me and like he had his owner. He's on a bridle. He's pony playing. He's on a bridle, has the fucking blinders on, hoofs, the whole nine. And he's naked. He's got a tail attached. Just question mark swinging between the two of us. Just hi, you know? And he's like, my owner says you can ride me. You want to ride me? And like, I've only worked at the dungeon for probably about 3 weeks, but then I just threw all ambitions to the wind because I'm watching people, you know, act like donkeys and walk their dogs and, you know, and I'm kind of laughing at first. And then I was like, this is kind of cool, you know?
Like,
and so
why not?
Right. And so then he's like, no, for real. You want to ride me? And I'm like, she says it's okay. He's like, yeah. And he's all excited and he's doing his hoofs. And I'm like, get down on all fours, boy. I'm riding this boy around the fucking yard. You know, and
that is hilarious.
It's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fucking cool. But so with that being said, I'm gonna switch up the subject a little bit.
Yeah, like that's pretty cool. I can't lie.
Right. But to some people, it might be a little terrifying, right? So
Yeah.
I got something for y'all.
Animal.
Well,
Okay.
All right. So I just wanted to say that it's hilarious. You know, like we throw the word dungeon around a lot.
Uh-huh.
And so everybody always thinks like, oh, a dungeon, like it's got to be dark, you know, the hallways are painted black and, you know, like it's probably dank or musty or anything.
Yeah.
No, like you wouldn't understand dungeons unless you've been there for yourself, because like as soon as you said the green pasture, I was like, yeah, I remember a green pasture and being like, what the hell goes on there?
Right.
Like, this isn't anything like I thought it would be. Like, this could be next to a Barnes and Noble. Like, it's
It's like a park. It's a
professional
park in the
environment.
backyard.
So the things that you see there, like pools, green pastures,
It's not dark and dank. It's definitely not bonding. There are dungeons like that, but it's not bonding on Netflix. Like there are dungeons like that, but a lot of the more
but it's
high
not
scale,
every dungeon.
right? A lot of the more high scale dungeons are the ones where you're not like, you know, originally from New York, so where you ain't working in the dungeons in Hunts Point. Okay, other dungeons are done up a little bit differently, and your room is done to your specification. So you know, it could be light, it could be clouds, it could be pink, it could, you know, there's all these different versions. It's like you let your imagination run wild. That's it.
It's honestly more akin to a studio.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And you can set it up for whatever you need.
We call it a dungeon. We call it a dungeon because if somebody, no, I wasn't at that studio. Like, nah, you were at the dungeon. Like, you knew what it was. You knew what you signed your name in. You were there. Yeah, you were at the dungeon.
You check in.
I never forget.
It's funny, like you see people out and everything, and they're just like, oh, how, like they lock eyes with you, and you're like, hey, man, we have a contract. I ain't putting your business out there, but if you walk up to me and just like, hey, how you doing? And the people you're with are like, oh, how do you two know each other? Like, do you really want me to tell them?
I've had that happen.
I'm open
before.
About this. Don't you get ashamed of me now? Like that's in contract too. So
no joke. I've had that happen before, working in the dungeon and then running into somebody on the street, like being at a restaurant, and this dude comes up and he's like, hi, mistress. And he's with his freaking like CEOs and businessmen. And I looked at him, I was like, hi. And he's like, hi, I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged you. And I'm like, okay. And his partners are looking at him like, who the heck is this chick? You know?
That's my favorite. Is you want me to tell him?
Like, I had to go like this. I was like, hey, and we're going to call him Peter. Okay. We're not going to give his real name, but we're going to call him Peter. I was like, hey, Pete, sure you want to do this right now? And he was like, this is an old colleague. I just wanted to make sure I came up and said hi, you know, and just see how you were doing. It's been so good seeing you. It was like he fucking flipped when he saw me. And then when I like checking him, like, hello, do you realize you're out in your real world? Like, he was like, oh shit.
The best is when you get him back in the dungeon and you're just like, so you're embarrassed of me.
You're embarrassed by me.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll fix that.
I don't care what you
Now we're
want.
in
We're
the
doing
place
my day today. You want to be embarrassed. All right.
Yep.
We'll work on that.
Okay. So getting back to this, where I was saying, you know, me explaining riding somebody in the middle of a yard may seem to some people, honestly, very terrifying, or like, well, that's weird, or oh my God. So I decided to bring an article to you guys, it's a little list, and I'm just going to quickly go through them. I'm not going to go through all of them. Okay. But this is an article called The 22 Most Terrifying Sexual Fantasies That Must Be Talked About. Okay. So I'm going to read a little bit. Just so you know, because I don't want to get wrong. Okay, this is on The Advocate, so it's legit. All right. So I mean, we've talked about some of these. So like the first one is like autoerotic asphyxiation. We've talked about that. If you don't know, go back and watch our stuff. Okay. The
That was a good one.
And a lot of these I didn't really know that I know they exist, but I've never experienced them myself. So it seems kind of like out there. But apparently it's very common. Okay. But these are like terrifying fetishes. Okay. So for the vanilla, the fetish for disfigurement or permanent bodily injury. So it's like where someone is submissive and getting turned on by being permanently damaged by their dom or whatever. So, I mean, it could go very extreme to knife play, or it could be very mild to like what Kane was talking about, you know, bites, that kind of thing. Okay. Yeah. The fetish, this one I found interesting. and I'm not even going to go into the description. If y'all want to read this, y'all got to look it up. Okay. The fetish, ready for this one, Miss Sasha?
Yes.
Because you're going to flip. Of ripping off your member. Penis.
Oh, no. No.
There's a fetish for that. And it's very common. I've never heard of that. Kane's nodding. Okay, so I must be behind in the time.
Unfortunately. Oh God. Pain Olympics. Look it up.
Wait, hold up. Wait, Kane, how do you know about ripping off your penis? Do you have this fetish, sir?
No, absolutely not. But
no, please no.
I'm not knocking nobody, but
no, just like Miss Sasha said, the BME Pain Olympics, like that came out when I was in high school. And that video went viral, went around. It's funny because it's like what I would say went viral is by no means today. Like it was one of those random text messages like, yo, have you seen this? Check it out. You're sitting there on your flip phone like, what is that? So then you go look it up on the computer and you're like, what the? Yeah.
Flip phone. I'm mad you said flip phone. You just all right.
Oh no, I had a Nokia 3310 too, but
oh my goodness. All right. So see, I see this is why we love Brother Kane. He's like, look, I'm here for it. This is how old I am. Y'all figure it out. Do the math.
Yeah, no,
with
that
age
was the
comes
worst.
experience. So I mean,
Right.
I will date myself every single time. So that way, if just in case you were like on the fence, like, oh wait, he knows about the 3310, he knows his shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna read 3 more and that's it. All right.
Okay.
So one I'm actually going to dive into because I did not know anything about, but this first one, I'm just going to give you the title. The fetish of becoming an amputee, which also falls under the fetish of being with somebody that can't move or is disabled, like actually physically can't get out of a wheelchair, that kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bug chasing. Does anybody know what bug chasing is? Please, before I go into the description.
Bug chasing? No.
Bug chasing. The fetish of
like bug.
Bug, like a creepy crawly.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Can you want to take a stab?
Not really.
Okay. Probably smart because this is like when I read the 25 most kinkiest things and they were all very specific. Okay, this is that same kind of thing. Bug chasing. Bug chasing is when an HIV negative person seeks HIV. Bug chasing is grinder speak. Okay. So for a casual phase of heavily tabooed practice. So it's like somebody saying, I'm HIV positive and let's play around in this and see if I can catch it.
So roulette.
Yeah. It's like Russian roulette. Yes. Okay, and the last one that I'm going to touch on, because I am going to read this, so give me a second to scroll down. All right, is vor. Does anyone know what vor is?
Yep.
No, honestly, if you want to like add in, I know you know Miss Sasha. I know you know Mr. Kane. Okay, otherwise I want to have you on the show. What's vor?
Vor kind of falls into that like animal or pet play. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Animalistic. That's going to be my word of the day.
Well, it's animal play too. It can be. That's why I say word. Right. All right.
So for my Latin community that's watching right now, like the best way that I could describe it would be ansias. So it's that you know that feeling you get when something's cute and you want to squish it.
Yeah.
So it's that level of like desire behind wanting to either take a bite or mark or just exhibit your animal tendencies towards
almost
somebody.
Like,
so it's like that.
Look how cute you are. See, it's like
I could just take like when they were like, I could just eat you up. Yeah, that's what they really want to do.
All right, so Sasha, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's just the desire of wanting a mouthful of somebody, like just in some aspect. Kind of.
I love that my team took this from the very light end of vor. Okay. The very light end where they might be comfortable practicing vor. Okay. Because vor is actually, it's not cannibalistic. You're not trying to eat another person. It's not like that. But what CJ or what Kane explained actually does express what vor is. Like, it's that ansias. That's what you said, right? Ansias, the ansias,
Yes.
like that feeling where, okay, here's a great way to put it. You ever had a little baby in your lap and you're just like, I just want to bite him. I just want
I have a friend that's like
and
that.
you're trying really hard not to bite him. That's
Yeah.
ansias. Okay. And that's a very light end of vor. But vor is actually wanting to engulf and swallow a person whole. Outside of that, I'm gonna let y'all look that up. I'm gonna let you, but there's a reason I brought up vor. Okay, it all ties back into this, but it is literally like, because you're not like taking pieces out. That's a very light end of vor, and some people, you know, I'm attached to that. That's where I sit. So that's vor. But vor is actually where you want to gobble someone whole. You want to swallow them whole. You want to eat that person whole. And there is a fetish for that out there.
Guys, speaking to my dudes out there, you ever sit there and just like want to put a hole in your mouth? That's about as close to vor.
Oh wait, what? Just okay.
I ain't trying to get us banned or anything. Like,
right,
I'm not trying to be strike number 3 over here on the old YT. So,
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
It's like, ladies,
That is true.
like there's a couple ladies watching right now that are sitting there like, wait, they what? And it was like, oh yeah, if we could,
is
like the bigger the
same?
better. And even still, like as big as they get, like when you start getting into like M and double J cups, like we still just, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually read the definition because I heard Miss Sasha asking what exactly, like break it down. So I'll read the definition, but you guys have to look this up.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit of the definition, but I'm gonna stop because y'all need to go look this up for yourself so we don't get a strike. Okay. Vorophilia is when you get turned on at the idea of eating another person's body parts or being eaten whole. Okay. You may have heard it in a more commonplace name. Some people refer to it as cannibalism, but it's not, because you're not like eating that person and killing them. It's just like, I just want to envelop them into me.
Just the idea of it
What was her
and
name?
partaking in something, in some form of it. Yeah.
Okay, you're about to compare this to like a superhero character. I see it. Go ahead.
No, American Gods.
Beelquist.
Beelquist.
Yep.
Yeah.
You didn't watch American Gods?
I did watch all of it. I'm not a big,
Girl.
I don't sit
Like
down.
if you saw the
long
first 2
enough.
episodes, you
Girl.
remember Beelquist.
Okay, so she was an African like goddess, right? In Egyptian
Okay,
times or
I've
whatever.
seen her,
And
but
her power is that she will have sex with men and suck them into her vajayjay.
She'd absorb them and send them into an infinite orgasmic existence.
Yep. So right when you're about to orgasm as a guy, I'm sorry, guys, you're getting sucked up in. She's taking over your soul, the presence, all of it.
What's that person's name? What's her name?
Beelquist. Yes, that was actually a great bring up on that, because that's literally vor, but she was doing it through her vajayjay instead of through her mouth.
But if you're into vor, I mean, that seems like, rather than ingest it, I'd love to be a
whole person. Just bring them all in. Bring them in.
So is vor the same thing as like, or maybe it's something different, wanting to be like wear somebody, like be so far in that person, like you're wearing them. Is that something else?
That's something completely different.
That's actually psychology. That's so that actually falls under psychology. That's a psychopathic condition.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not
that has nothing to do with kink, people. Nothing to do with kink.
Well, like, no, not wanting to logistically wear them, but like just the idea of being
of wanting to be in their skin.
Yeah. You remember
you want to be like inside.
You remember Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to ball you up and put you there.
Yeah.
And every time I feel a tickle, I'll just know it's this hair. Yeah. That's
that.
Yes, it's that. But that's completely different from vor, because like it's not necessarily the person that is making the attraction and making you want to bring that person into you or eat them and it's literally eating them. You know what I'm saying? just like a foot fetish. Like, why are you attracted to a foot? Just like they're very common. Vor is actually very, very common. There's comic strips out there with Pokemon that eat each other. It's a whole thing. It's a thing.
But it's almost done in somewhat of a cutesy fashion. So
Yes,
it's not like a
yes.
bite. It's not a
No,
gore.
it's not dangerous.
It is just like if they could be a boa constrictor and swallow you whole, they would.
They would. Oh, I love everything about you. Oh my God, I just want.
And so, like, just imagine it this way: a lot of the people that I've engaged with that are into vorophilia, it is. I don't know if this will get a strike, but here we go. It's a lot of gagging.
No, no. Just use proper terms. You're good.
It's a lot of gag play. Because I mean, you're definitely engaging in practices where you're trying, even though it's not physically or, you know, remotely possible. So it's a lot of gag play, and it's also a lot of worship. And so it comes into just it's a lot of an oral fetish. It's a very oral fetish. Yes. And so it really, somebody that's into vorophilia is like they really want to worship you, so they just want you to lay back and let them worship you. And so it is you all in. They're gonna take you all. They're gonna do their best to try to take you all in, and that's gonna be like, that's a little strange. That's a little weird. So they honestly have a little bit more difficulty surrounding it than a foot fetish, where it's like you have one specific body part that you're kind of attracted to, whereas a vorophiliac will everything about you so is like a foot fetish for them. So it's like your forearm, you know, like that's the people who want to just drag their tongue all over. Like when they say I want to lick you up and down, that's what a vorophiliac is going to do, and they mean it from head to toe. Like
right, like
everywhere.
I had a client that was into vor, right? And because you can't necessarily go and just suck an entire person into your mouth and swallow them, you know, he would literally sit there and do this.
Yeah, we had somebody, we called him Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, behind the scenes, we were like, oh, Hannibal's in. Because he would do that. Just.
Yeah. Or they're breathing you in. That shit.
But the funniest thing is if you cringed or if you were like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Like,
are you okay? I didn't like, because they don't want to hurt you. Something? They just want to take you all in.
You're like, no, you're good. Like stand as completely still as possible while they just.
Oh, I don't know if you guys have told this has happened to me before, and I'm like,
I'm not even said, and fucking Sasha was triggered. No. She's like, no, don't suck me in. No.
Oh my gosh. No, I've had an incident like that. Like somebody just wouldn't leave me alone. And like anytime they could be like right here, I'm like, what the? Like, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Stop it.
Oh, just you smell good. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't have nothing on. No, you. It's just you. I'm like, oh my God.
So let's get back into this pet play. All right. We need to explain to the people what pet play is.
Just to let you know, if you have vorophilia, or if you have, I think it's I want to say it's called orophilia, where it's like a nasal thing, like you love the smell of somebody.
That's separate, but yes.
But like they're separate. It's not the same.
No, it's different, but they kind of engage in like the same practices. Yeah. Let me just let you know right now, telling anybody their natural musk is attractive is always going to get a negative reaction.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Pheromones.
Like pheromones, something else. Like, don't ever refer to a person's natural, like, don't even call it an odor. Like, just odor and musk are like.
And I'm just calling it safer because we need to call it safer. But here's the deal, animal. I'm so mad you said that, because literally that is. Woo! Yep. I have had a client, remember where I was like, they just. Right? And they shake and shiver afterwards. And believe me, I'm not making fun of this in any way.
No, I'm not either.
Yes. Ooh. And this is what pulled me out of it. Because for me, my hard limit is smells. Like I don't deal in What?
Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-mm.
So he's you're musk, girl. You're musk. And I'm like, I showered
Yeah.
today. What the fuck do you mean?
Like, I do not smell spicy. I'm gonna need you to stop.
Wait, hold up. Wait,
Right.
no,
It's
I'm
like,
okay. I'm okay. Yeah. Like it immediately took me to this dark place where I'm like, yo, did I not shower well enough today? What happened?
That
Like,
reminds
I
me of
can't
like when
sit
I was
here
a
and hold
kid
still
and
for
I
you
was
while you
going through
stick me
puberty and I
in.
was musty and nobody was nice about it. That's what that reminds me.
Right.
So once you
So-
say musty, I'm like,
You're must, girl.
big girl,
You're
I know how to put
must.
on deodorant.
You're must.
So what always comes to mind when I hear that is, do you guys remember that show Friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Friends.
Of course.
All right, so I can't remember her name, but do you remember that chick who like she came on the show and she had that fake British accent?
Oh, the girlfriend?
Yeah, it was I think it was like Monica and Phoebe's friend.
Yeah, Monica's a few. Yeah,
And they were just like, oh, and it was like she grew up in Yonkers, but she moved to like Great Britain, and then she has this like fake British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's talking to one of the other dudes, and she goes, do you like this scent? And so like she gets like right on him, and she goes, it's not perfume, it's my natural musk. So that's what always comes to mind, was that like that cringy, like, oh, ugh. So whenever I hear somebody like, because I've heard it before, like, you're musk, like, sorry, like a Friends rerun played in my head when you said that. Like, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm dirty. Okay, you want me to go
Yeah,
shower?
no.
What's happening here? Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
All right. So getting back to the pet play, away from the musk and there's out there kinks. We're gonna get into this in season 3. You want to know about extreme fetishes and kinks and all that? Season 3, join us. Okay. So, but let's get back into the kink of the month, right? So now here's where I open it and say, hey guys, how much do you know about pet play? Dun, 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 dun. So we're gonna test my SafeWord crew. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna list off some of the most common ones. There's not a whole, like there's a couple. Okay, but these are the most common ones.
Okay.
Now, let me put this out there. Pet play is whatever your imagination wants to be. You want to be a gecko, you want to be a lizard, you want to be a sugar glider. By all means, do it.
What is that?
You know what I'm
I
saying?
had a sugar baby.
A sugar glider? Yeah. You call them sugar
A
babies.
sugar baby?
So if you own a sugar glider, you call them sugar babies. So
What is a sugar
gliders,
glider?
you don't know what a sugar glider is? Okay.
No.
They're like
Glider
little
is-
squirrels, but they jump and they have like a bunch of skin, so they actually glide.
They're like flying squirrels, but
like
they're fluffy like
Rocky.
chinchillas. They're fluffy like chinchillas. They're about this big. I had one. And literally you can open their cage and they will like jump and fly up onto like, say your curtain rod, right? And they're
Uh-huh.
up there and they're chewing, and squirrels do. Little rodents do. Messing with shit. And my sugar glider's name was Tonka. So I could be like, Tonka, and I'd always wear a shirt that had a pocket in it, right? In the front. And I'd be like, Tonka, fly down. Tonka, come on, we going. Come on, Tonka. And he would jump off the thing and glide and land on my shoulder and then crawl and curl up in a little ball.
I'm gonna have to look up one of those things because it sounds cute.
Yes.
You have to get them in pairs.
You have to get them in pairs or they die because they can't live outside of a group. They're like marsupials. They are actually nocturnal. The whole thing. They're like marsupials.
Aw.
They are marsupials. They're socialistic.
Yes, yeah. So that's what makes them not fall into that. Okay, so sidetracked. Okay, SafeWord crew.
Sugar gliders.
And that concludes Daryl Hannah's home again.
Yes.
Right.
We're
That's
done
gonna
with
be our
the
next
nature
safe
show
word.
tonight.
Sugar glider.
That was some Bob Ross
Let's
shit
get a
right
baby
there.
if
Just
you
like
wanna pretend
happy
like
little
one.
trees, and let me show you some squirrels I adopted.
Right.
Animal. We are off the rails.
Right.
Get back off the rails.
Let's get back on the rails. All right. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you guys the title, okay, of the different types of pet play. And I'm really honestly just kind of testing my crew to see if they should be here. Okay. Pet play's common. So if you're out here right now and you're like, oh my God, they're doing the kink of the month, the pet play, it's as common as a foot fetish, baby. It's as common as a foot fetish. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad. Don't feel sideways. Yo, I love you because you have not lost your kid-like wonder, your childlike wonder.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So here's the deal. This is role playing, right? So obviously when I say these titles, you guys are going to be like, oh, okay, you act like a dog, you act like a cat. I want you to tell me what all you think falls into this, like what somebody might do. Okay, just don't give me like, oh, you act like a monkey because it said monkey in the tile. You act like a lizard because it says lizard in the tile. No, okay, I'm testing you. All right, so here's the first one. This is one of the most common ones. Dog, wolf, or puppy play. Miss Sasha, would you like to take a stab at that? A stab. a stab.
Sure. I would like to say that they probably like to take on the persona of one of those animals when they are indulging in pet play.
But dog, puppy, wolf play, what do you think it encompasses? Do they walk on 2 feet? Do they have a collar, a leash? Tell me what you think happens.
I would think that they would be on all fours. They would embody every characteristic of that animal. They would be on all fours. They would be naked. I'm sure if it was a dog of some sort, they would require a leash or want a leash or a collar, be on all fours and act completely like a dog and sit like a dog and do its thing like a dog or a fox.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Or a wolf. So then you like growl and like kind of like run in a little pack, probably run not on all fours, but probably hand to feet, gallop.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. K, what do you think it looks like? Or what is dog, wolf, puppy play?
So if you've ever had a puppy, it is, if somebody's engaging in puppy play, one of the most common things that they do is they do the teething. Mm-hmm. So they actually chew on stuff, furniture, shoes. I mean, they don't do as much damage as a puppy would do, but I mean, they do engage in like stealing your shoes, gnawing on furniture. They also like to go out for potty. Mm-hmm. So they're actually fully engaged in like, and they have like not so much a safe word, but they have actions where they let their handler know that, hey, like they'll go and scratch the door. And so it's like, oh, you need to go out. And so you treat them as much of like a dog as possible. And so, but when you do puppy play, they actually like to mess in the house.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep.
They act
because that's what a puppy would do.
Like a puppy.
That's what a puppy. So they really honestly, like everybody hit the nail on the head. I'm gonna add a couple more things to this and then we're gonna move on. All right. So they actually encompass and envelop that persona of a dog or a wolf. It depends on what they're playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or a puppy. But dogs literally, like if you're playing as a dog, you want to be tamed. A lot of times this is how I compare it to regular, quote unquote, regular BDSM. Yeah. It's in a power exchange, right? That's literally what you're looking at. You have a handler or your trainer or your owner, and the other person is playing this animal, right? Mm-hmm. So for this one, it's a dog. So for dogs, they like to be collared. They like to be trained. They like to be tamed. And it's always a give and take. It's this whole thing, like just like with a regular puppy. Okay, no, bad, no. You don't piss on the carpet. No, you don't chew that. No. And then you also have to take your dog out to play, and they'll fetch, balls and there's a lot of things that go into it. It's not just like a collar. People will buy ears and tails and the whole full latex mask. I've seen people done up in the entire latex suit so they look like a Dalmatian. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Preacher on FX. Okay, literally, that's what it looks like.
And they're dog shows too.
Right. So, and then with dog play, it's more family oriented. So there's like alpha, beta, gamma, just like within the wolf or dog community, there's an alpha, there's a beta, there's a gamma, right? And then sometimes colors are involved, and colors are involved to either associate you with that dog, like, oh, I'm a white dog, I'm a, a yellow lab, or they have those colors in their masks to represent who they are owned by. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's really a big thing about ownership. So if we've talked about slave master type of deal, it's that same kind of scenario almost. It's the same kind of fucking power exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, so my team did good with dogs. That's an easy one. All right. Kitten, lion, or cat play. Mr. Kane. I kicked it to Sasha first. Give me what you think that looks like.
So kitten play, kitten and cat play, they like to do a lot of naps. They like to do a lot. They're very I don't want to say like antisocial, but they engage in a lot of cat-like behaviors. So it's like that nonchalant, just like carefree, do their own kind of thing attitude. I've only ever heard of lion play like under like extreme circumstances, and so one of the things was marking.
Yes, yep, that's a thing.
So marking was a lion play. Well, I've only heard of it like lioness play because I've never met a male lion, or I've never heard of a male lion. Not to say that they're not out there, just I don't have personal experience with them. Kittens like to be very playful, and so they will mess around with a ball of yarn. They don't necessarily deal too much in catnip outside of the aesthetic that, you know, like cats like catnip, but humans generally don't. So if they do, they do the bat around kind of thing instead of actually like trying to be euphoric off of catnip.
Right.
A lot of naps, craving sunlight, like to lay in the light, and they'd like to be on windowsills. And so if you have like one of those large windowsills, like it's almost like a nook, they'll curl up there. Or they'll curl up in a sunny spot, and boxes. So if you've got a refrigerator box or a dishwasher box, they're all about it.
Right. Okay. Miss Sasha, you got a little hint there from Mr. Kane. Right. But can you add anything to that? Don't repeat.
Add. Nails it all. So I don't think there's much else for me to add. Maybe with cat play, I guess lazing about more and wanting more attention than wanting to be rubbed more. I don't know. I have a cat. I'm just
right. I was like, with you having a cat, let's associate.
Right. Right. Okay. Because like when my cat was younger, it was a lot of playing, a lot of running and getting the balls and catching the balls and running and patting your ankles, like ow, like a lot of that, chasing you around the house. And now that my cat's an older cat, it's more like a longing to want to be by me, or a longing to like want to purr and need and like really be close and cuddle.
Yeah.
And the cuddles and the rubs and then the nudging and stuff like that.
Right.
So
okay, so you hit the nail on the head with some people that play in cat feline play. That's what they do. Okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part, when people are connecting to cats, right, and they want to pretend or role play as a feline of some sort, it's because unlike dogs, where they want to be collared, they want to please you, they like want to, what you want me to do? I want to be trained. Cats, don't trust them. Don't trust them. They for themselves, okay? So a lot of times it's somebody that wants to be more independent, doesn't have that drive to have that slave master power exchange, but I still want you to dominate me, but I still want to do my own thing. And when you need to go over that. So sometimes callers are involved, but sometimes they're not, right? And it's really about like, I still want my level of independence, right? But yeah, I mean, like they don't like to be collared. Think about kittens, they and cats, they like to be straights. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to pet me, then do.
There was a video that we did where I was I think it was role playing, where I had to act. I was acting.
Like you licked the bowl of milk.
Yeah,
and I go back and watch that.
It's going down the hallway, and I was like, doing the whole cat thing.
I'm sure you turned on a lot of fucking people with just that one little hallway play. Okay, and pushing the bowl away. What? Why? Yeah, yeah. So literally, the difference between like cats and dogs, usually when somebody associates with one or the other, is that the cat usually wants to have the ability to have more independence or more say in what they're doing. Where a dog is just like, oh, I want to please you. Where do you want me to go? You want to chase the ball? Okay, you know. All right. So moving on. Y'all ready for this one? Now I'm going to break this down a little bit because I don't want you guys to just kind of keep going. All right. Now the category is pony or equestrian play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is horses for you uncivilized beings. Horses. Okay, so horses. But there are 3 types that fall under pony play. That's usually what it's called. It's not called horse or anything like that, or equestrian play. It's called pony play. So can I ask my crew, do you know the 3 types? And if you know it, just go ahead and shout it out. I'm just going to throw it out there. I ain't going to throw it at nobody. If you know, just start, and y'all can help each other.
Pony, horse, and unicorn.
Oh, that was, you know what? I like your thinking, but no.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Mr. Kane. Do you know anything?
No, not on pony play. I want to say, like, if I was going to say anything, I would say feeding, bathing, and trotting.
You know what? I like your thinking too. Both of you guys are very close, but not. Okay, so there's 3 specific types, all right? There's cart horses, which obviously they pull carts or silkies, right?
Okay.
There's riding ponies, which riding ponies are somebody that wants you to ride them, like the story I told earlier. And I've seen it done both ways, on 2 feet and 4. But let me just say this, for safety concerns and because we are a sexual educational channel, okay,
Sorry.
please do it on all 4s so that if you have somebody riding on your back, then that person can support themselves with their own 2 feet. Okay. All right. Riders, please make sure that your horse is on all 4s. Okay, I've seen a lot of bad things happen. Don't do it. All right. And then there's the show pony. Does anybody want to take a stab at what a show pony is?
A show pony likes to show off. Like, they like to do tricks. They like to be groomed. They like to probably jump and do tricks and be the center of attention. Yeah, something like
what
that.
What do you think it is, Kane?
I always think of the show pony trot, that very proper, upright, elegant, slow, deliberate.
Okay,
trot.
so y'all know my very first experience with pet play was with the pony. So I got a real quick lesson real quick, okay? He was a riding pony, and there were other ponies out in the yard. And so there was this girl that was dressed up as a pony, and she's doing backflips and cartwheels. And her owner literally has a riding crop, and it's like, off, you're off, you're off. That flip was off. No, do it again, you know? So honestly, in my personal opinion, this is just my personal opinion, I love a show pony because they're the easiest ones to get along with outside of riding ponies, because they just want you to ride them. But show ponies want to please their master. They want to please their owner, right? And they will do a lot of elaborate tricks and trots and things like that. Whatever their owner's asking for, they're the less brattiest of all of these, in my personal experience. A show pony just wants to, what do I gotta do? Flip? Okay, cartwheels. I had a gymnast that was a show pony, and she dressed up in the whole gear, bridle, bit, collar, the whole 9. And she'd be like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, backflip, triple cartwheel, round off, you know? She'd be like, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's really cool. But there's also another subsection that falls under this. Have you guys ever heard of donkey play?
No, I was gonna say that. No.
Yeah.
Like,
so
okay.
it's not like the Mexican Showdown where you get to go watch a donkey show. It's not that. Okay, these are humans and these characters. Okay, so donkey play falls under pony play because it's a more goofy or silly way to act. It's the Shrek. It's you know, and you act like that, but as a pony, and you're clumsy and you fall down. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think either one of you are going to get this, but you might because of the title. So let's see. Cow, bull play.
Well, bull play, I would assume they'd like to charge and be aggressive and dominant and like to like intimidate you and toss you around.
I like it because that is part of it, but it's very specific and move away from the title.
Oh,
and kind of think maybe what you use a cow for. So Kane, I gave you a hint.
Milking.
Ooh, he knew. Milking. Yes. So this is where someone fantasizes or has these fetishes about impregnation, lactation, milking. This could also include, okay, so like you could totally not act like a bull or a cow, and you could be into pet play, and it falls under this category of milking or continuously bringing someone to orgasm, either by nipple play or through the penis. So that is also falling underneath this category. But also, a lot of people that play in it and want to act like cows, bulls, that kind of thing, they get the septum piercing, and it's a representation of what they used to do on the farms. Does anybody know what a septum piercing was for on a bull in a farm?
Pulling it around.
Right.
It, leading it.
Yep. It's how you train them. It's how you tame them and get them to do what you want to do. You would lead them with that was old practices way back in the day. We don't do that no more, but that's why the septum ring was a thing. But please don't pull on your human septum ring. It's a representation that they want to be tamed, not that they want to be pulled by it. Okay. That would hurt. That would hurt. I'm sorry. So don't go breaking out your tools, guiding your cow around. They just don't do it. All right. So I've got 3 more for you guys. Dragon play.
I think that's more like the collection side of it, like hordes and like I know there's a lot of like fire breathing play, but not like fire breathers, but just simulating and a lot of dominance, like a lot of untamable, just like you're supposed to be afraid in the presence of a dragon, so they want the reverence.
Yes. Okay. All right. Miss Sasha, do you got anything to add to that?
Dragon play. I would say a dragon likes to like capture things. Yeah. And they like to they guard like shiny things and stuff like that, and they guard like the princess and stuff like that. So I don't, just dominant.
No, you guys are like hitting the nail on the head, and honestly, Kane came in with the Hail Mary, right?
Yeah,
where he's sitting there like hordes and stuff. Okay, so literally dragon play, and I've seen dragon play. I've seen people dress up in big costumes and do the whole stomping thing. And I've seen somebody dress up like Godzilla, and that was their dragon play. You know what I'm saying? And they're stomping on stuff. They had to have Legos and little towns and stuff like that. So I've seen people get all elaborate with this, right? But in researching dragon play, you want to know what it says? Are people that like to look at or collect shiny items. So a hoard. Dragons are known in folklore for collecting a hoard of their things. Like if you ever watch not Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, yes, where Smaug is there and he's like, I have my hoard, you know what I'm saying? He's sitting on this pile of stuff. That's what they like to do. But there's also like that macro micro thing, which is literally size play. It's trampling, it's stepping on something smaller than you, that kind of thing. And here's where vor comes into play, because dragons really, a lot of dragons, I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of times those two go hand in hand, because you're this big badass dragon and you just want to swallow people up. Okay. But it's not to be confused with cannibalism. They don't want to eat people and hurt them. They just want to envelop them. You know, it's that power dynamic where dragons, like Kane said, are large and powerful. Like Sasha said, they guard stuff. Yeah. They want to capture things. A lot of times, like I've seen it personally, where they will literally go and capture a dog that belongs to an owner and take it to their kennel. You know what I'm saying? Because they're a dragon.
I could see dragons. I could see a lot of this stuff being in like a whole scene. Yes. And almost. Yeah, like there's a dragon and there's an owner and a dog. And
when there's a full zoo party, it is. You can run into anything on a full zoo lawn party. Yes.
That's fascinating.
You're right. It really is. And so like for me today, where I'm sitting there going, okay, pet play, blah, blah, blah. And I looked up, because I've seen dragon play. I've seen it. But to know that like the actual definition is people that like to look at or collect shiny things. I was like, oh, why is dragon my spirit animal? Oh, that's what I do is collect shiny trinkets and bubbles. So I was like, oh, I play in pet play. I'm a dragon. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting, even as somebody that's had experience in this, to realize, oh, on the other end of it, where I would normally own somebody, I could be a dragon. So that was pretty interesting. But all right, Kane, I'm kicking this one to you. Uh-oh. I'm kicking this one to you because I want you to go into that part of your head. All right. Pig play.
Oh, you don't want to know where I first went.
I honestly do. Just filter, but yes, I do.
Like to play in their own filth, or like to be oiled, and like to eat out of a trough.
Okay. All right, Miss Sasha.
Like to be I don't know. Like what Kane said, I can't think of anything else because that's what pigs do for the most part. Want to be branded? I don't know.
There is a level of brandation in pig play. That's on the extreme level, but yes, there is that. And same with cow play. But pig play obviously is anything that's a pig, curly tails, guttural sounds, all that stuff. If you into pig play, join our show, because when people laugh. All right, that's where I'm gonna leave it. But there's also a whole nother level to pig play. Okay. It can be eating a lot. And pig play is super freaking messy. Super messy. Like oil was a great start. But we're talking any bodily fluids messy. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. Y'all gonna have to look that up for yourself. Oh my goodness. It is a very messy role play, and people sometimes don't ask where your hard limits are, and that's how you get in trouble. Okay, moving on. Monkey play. Sasha.
I was gonna say I took pig play.
I know, because she was thinking. That's why I was like, okay, let's take it to her.
Swinging from things, running a lot, being unruly. The baby will throw feces.
Okay.
Yeah, likes to like maybe pick at you and stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay, Mr. Kane, you got anything to add to that?
I was gonna say grooming and climbing and swinging.
Yeah, that's all, very basic. Hey, I'm acting like a monkey or an ape. That's what I'm gonna do. But a lot of people, when they play a monkey play, they play also an ape play. So it's very caveman or Neanderthal, like the size thing comes into play. So they may like big feet. They may like bananas, all the things that flow with monkeys. But the thing about monkey play, if you don't like dealing with a brat, don't deal with somebody that wants to play as a monkey, okay? Because they're goofy, they're silly, and they're always testing you. At least that's my experience, okay? I've never had like a very, like, oh, what do you want me to do today? Swing from the tree, eat a banana? No. That's the reward after you've done punished them 5 times. And you're like, okay, can you calm down? It's like literally dealing with a 3-year-old toddler. Can you calm down? Can you sit down? Can you stop? Okay, all right. We're just gonna let you do what I'm exhausted.
Throwing stuff.
Yes, yep.
Pots, pans, plates.
That's where Sasha was right, because I have had a client that he was also into scat. So that's how he got his scat fetish across, throwing it places. And you had to discipline him. Yeah, he was paying for it. So, hey. Yeah, but that's there are monkeys that are just silly, goofy. And like I've had monkeys and apes that totally the entire time you're in scene, you are trying to keep character because they are making you die laughing, and you're trying to stay in this dominatrix role of I'm gonna just, what the hell are you doing? I'm gonna stop it, right? Stop it. Yeah, it's one of those. So that's monkey play. Last one. Ready? Fox play.
Fox play?
Yes, fox play.
I would say a lot of pouncing and a lot of looking majestic.
Okay. All right, Mrs. Sasha.
What
are some of the first things that come to your mind when you think fox? Socially constructed fox.
They run in packs. There's a leader.
What are they known for in cartoons?
I don't know. I
Mischievous
can't.
and conniving.
There, King.
Yeah, they are
mischievous.
They're sly.
Yes, sly. Yeah. Exactly. So they're sly. They're more sneaky. So literally, if somebody's attaching themselves to a fox, usually they can't decide between a dog and a cat. So they go somewhere in between where they can still kind of act around, but they want you to freaking tame them. But then sometimes they don't, and they're not really gonna freaking, I don't care about your punishment. I'm gonna go over here now. Like it's in between. It's literally like if you wanted to roll the two in together, dog play and cat play, you'd be a fox. Okay, so these are just some of like the basics, right? It's left up to your imagination. If you wanted, like we said earlier, you want to be a sugar glider, you want to be a lizard, you want to be a snake, it's left up to your interpretation and where you feel free or ready to play. And none of it's wrong. I honestly really enjoy pets because they have not lost their childlike wonder, right? Mm-hmm. But we know all the different types. Miss Sasha.
Well, we pretty much have an idea of what most of the types are, but the question really is, now that we've had a breakdown of some of the different categories, why? Why would someone want to indulge in pet play?
Then that's actually a great question. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, really, like you're grown ass adult. Why are you crawling in the yard?
And it's just another subsector of role play, but why would someone feel to express themselves this way through role play?
What do you think?
To me, I think it's a freedom. Like there was this old quote that if you're like an Avenged Sevenfold fan, or like if you've ever seen memes, I'm pretty sure you've seen this guy's name, Samuel Johnson. He had this old quote: "He who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man." And so it's literally like you're really getting rid of all your responsibilities. You're getting rid of the bills. You're getting out of that mindset of human problems. And now you've only got 3 basic needs, food, sleep, and
play.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And really, honestly, that's what it is. It's, sitting in that freedom of being able to be played with and take away all of your daily stresses, your bills, your kids, your job, your this, your that. It's a safe place where you can be vulnerable. And I mean, I can't imagine anybody that didn't on the playground play as an animal at some point in their life. It's just going back to that. You know what I'm saying? Where you have that free nature. And sometimes like I know with my clients, it was, higher up CEOs, people that had control over everything in their life. And they're just like, somebody take control, and this is a way to do it instead of doing like that slave master thing. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we know why. And, we know what it is. So this is going to be my last question of the night. And I really want you guys to answer this very honestly, because I am actually very, very, very fucking interested. Okay. Especially for Miss Sasha, because her
I have to go soon though. So I'll give you a quick answer.
Yeah. Especially because of the experience. You haven't really experienced it. Would you ever, participate in pet play, or have you? Okay. And how would you be the pet owner? Would you be the pet? What would it look like? And if not, why wouldn't you participate at all?
So under my own accord, I would possibly allow myself to act like a cat. I don't know what full extent, but I know it would be a cat. But yeah, that would be the only thing that I could entertain, that I could wrap my mind around under the right circumstances. But
would you be an owner?
Dressing, I wouldn't want an owner. I would just want to be able to do that. And like,
yes, but as a switch, and this is why I'm asking you this question first, would you be an owner of a pet?
No, I'd be a cat.
So you would never try and, like, if somebody was like, hey, I want to be a puppy for you.
I don't want to.
Okay, all right.
No,
all right.
I would want to be able to not have the inhibition. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be extra feminine. You know what I'm saying? Not domed or anything like that, but just in a place to be extra feminine, extra soft, and let that be taken in and like be worshipped like a cat. Like how I was saying, like an older cat.
Yeah, just wants to like cuddle.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that because there's levels to pet play. So you don't have to take it to the extreme. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't got to wear kitten collars and paws and the whole nine and play with toys. You could
still outfit
and have a limit.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Kane, have you ever participated in play? Okay. Would you? All right. And would you be the pet or the owner? And real honestly, like, could you see yourself being a pet? I know you're a dom, but could you see yourself being a pet? And if not, why?
I've definitely been in some scenarios where, like, if I was completely comfortable with that person, I would engage in like I do growls, I do bites, I do scratches. So like I would say that it's mostly like I've done wolf play. I've been a wolf pet before. And I'm a lot more comfortable being the handler than the pet, but not to say that I would be above it. So
nice.
Yeah, I would definitely engage in both. But like I said, I'm more comfortable as a handler. I don't do like the monkey play because brats are fun, but when it comes to like being a brat for nothing other than a brat's sake, no, I'm good.
Nope. Yeah. Okay. And so for me, you all already know I done own some. I had a doggy. I had a puppy. He was cute and he listened to me and he was good. So like, yeah. And I've ridden a pony. So I would own one. And then today I realized I'm a dragon. So maybe there's a little switch in there, but that's all we got for you tonight. Mr. Kane, would you like to take us out?
Yes, ma'am. All right. So thank you everybody so much for joining us tonight. We hope you got to learn a little bit more about pet play. So that's what we're here for, to bring you guys that education. So thank you for joining us. It's Friday night. So go out, have some fun. Like we said, remember your safe word. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. And who knows, maybe you might find yourself a little kitten or a puppy tonight. So have fun, go out, explore, and enjoy yourselves. We will catch you guys again next week. So from all of us here at SafeWord, we love you. Thank you for your guys' support. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next